Just like a lot of y'all watching, when I first heard the story of Tateona Williams, I felt sympathy.
Told me no, I worship the ground and kids walk though.
The 29-year-old mother of the two kids that likely froze to death Monday in the parking structure of the Hollywood casino.
But after learning and doing my own research, that sympathy has quickly switched to suspicion. Something isn't right about this situation, and she's not telling the full story. The story of Tateona Williams losing her two kids to hypothermia after being forced to sleep in freezing weather because she was homeless, it took the world by storm on February 12th. It really pulled at the heartstrings of a lot of people.
I lost the one who made me a mother. I lost a 2-year-old. I'm dying inside. It hurt. I feel like my heart is breaking. And I have 2 more kids to live for.
It's been a long journey for Tateona Williams with an even tougher battle ahead. She spent the last 3 months living in a van with her children.
And I regret having to sleep out there so bad. I tell them I'm sorry, but I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me.
1 a.m. on Monday morning, they parked at the Hollywood Greektown Casino parking garage in below freezing temps. Overnight, the car ran out of gas, and the next day, her 9-year-old son was not breathing.
I tried to give him CPR, and I was just giving him CPR. I just kept saying, Fetty, don't leave me. Don't leave me, please.
After a friend helped take him to the hospital, her 2-year-old daughter was also found unresponsive. Both were later pronounced dead from what appears to be hypothermia.
The story was so relatable because we all know a struggling single mother who's trying her best. The system failed her, the country failed her, and she has to get it on her own. And because of that, she's struggling. So because her story is so relatable, nobody really questioned the details. Even though the details was pretty murky, right? Like, what do you mean the 9-year-old got rushed to the hospital and then you found the 2-year-old unresponsive? Like, the details were murky, but we never questioned it because, well, this is a crying mother who's grieving. And the police came, they did their quick investigation, case closed. So there was no need to really prowl too much into this. Now, the city came out and said, yeah, she was homeless. She did seek out housing from us, but we just couldn't get her housing quick enough.
She didn't even get to live her life. She didn't get to do nothing. She lost her life because I had to sleep in the car.
In a press conference, the mayor and city leaders confirmed that Tateona did call the city's homeless response team back in November, but nothing ever came of it.
At least as far as we've been able to determine so far, the family never called back again for service.
Tateona is now in a shelter and her kids are with relatives.
It took my 2 kids to die for y'all to help me. It just don't work like that. It hurt losing 2 kids in one night. I don't wish this on nobody. And if you can get help, please go get help.
This is the part of the story where things start to get really suspicious and really odd. Let's just start off with an icebreaker. Let's not hop off the cliff just yet. Let's just start off with an icebreaker. What mother 1 week after losing 2 kids would be on a live stream this happy? That's not how mothers who just lost their kids act, bruh. I don't care how social media want to phrase it. Yo, she's having a hard time. She's trying to smile through the pain. That's just not normal. I don't know not one mother, not mine, not yours, not your grandmama, not your sister, who will be on a live stream 1 week after losing 2 kids, dancing and smiling and acting like this. This is strange and nobody can convince me it's not. Strike one. But again, we're just getting through all the icebreakers before we really dive off this cliff and get into the real incriminating things that just can't be explained. I don't know how much stock I'm gonna put into this, but her baby dad went on national television and told her to cut the sob stories out and that she had options that she didn't use. Now, I'm not sure if I'm putting too much value into the words of a deadbeat because based on this story, he's an admitted deadbeat.
Had Tatiana ever reached out asking to?
No, she did not. All she said was, "Can I get him? Can I get him just to get him? And can I get him because y'all homeless?" That's two different things.
She said she had been homeless for 3 months.
Say, I saw, that's what I saw, about 3 months, but she ain't never said nothing to me. Nothing. So all them other sob stories, they can cut all that. No, she did not.
Curry, who lives in Novi, says Williams never specified why she wanted to drop their kids off to him.
She just asked, can I get them for a couple of days? But I told her I'm working and all that, and I'm out here. We're not close to each other, so I couldn't. But she knows all my family is right around the corner from her.
Did she reach out to any of your family?
No, she did not. And she knows she could have, like we always used to do.
He said
He's disputing the story of she ain't have the help she said she needed. Now, I'm not putting too much stock in his words because let's be real, bro. You're a deadbeat, bro. All right. She hit you up and said, hey, bro, can you take your kids for a couple of days? And you're asking her why. You are a deadbeat, bro. So I'm not putting too much stock in him because I think he's just as bad as her, to be honest. All right. But after the city and everybody heard the inconsistencies, seen her partying, heard the baby daddy, they still decided to reward her with a house of her own.
Today we are blessing the family who had faced a real devastating issue by losing 2 kids. And we in the city decided to step up and try to do something good for them and preserving their dignity and respect. And especially for the kids, to make sure they have a better future. We put in food for them. Everything we've done brand new, from windows, furnace, painted the house, put in new flooring.
Wow. Look at all of this. I'm just so appreciative. You like it? Yes. Yay! That's all that matters.
We can't do nothing to compensate for the loss of the kids, but it's at least a good start to cope with the situation that she's been through.
But as it looks like she won't be enjoying that new house anytime soon because she got some bigger things to worry about. After these new developments, I'm almost certain if we apply enough pressure, she's going to be seeing a jailhouse pretty soon. All right. So what new developments take place that makes me so certain that some foul play took place here? Well, let's talk about it. The key to this mystery that a lot of us has been waiting for, the autopsy report, it's finally came back and is not consistent with what Tatiana has told us. So the autopsy says the 2 children who died in a car at Detroit casino parking garage last month died from carbon monoxide poisoning. The medical examiner confirmed to 7 News Detroit. This is a tragedy. Those 2 babies died and won't be able to get their lives back. But advocates like myself, I'm speaking for those babies. Because even with the investigation, it looks like the police probably seen some inconsistencies, figure out, 2 poor black kids died. I don't care. Like, case closed. No, buddy. Case not closed, buddy. We got to get down to the bottom of this. And the bottom of this is something is suspicious. So let's get to the blatant holes here. According to the police briefing, Tatiana came into the parking garage. They drove in with the van at 1 a.m. At noon, between noon and 1 p.m., Tatiana called for help after noticing one of her children was not breathing. Now, don't forget, they was there for that long. According to Tatiana and according to the police briefing, they was in the parking garage from 1 a.m. to noon for 12 hours because they ran out of gas, people. They ran out of gas, which is why they was in that parking garage, according to Tatiana, for 12 straight hours. Another report will say that Tatiana was there from 1 a.m. to around 1 p.m. is when she called for help. The hypothermia story wasn't believable from the very beginning. I'm shocked the police even took that into consideration. They are in a parking garage, closed off from the weather, closed off from the wind, the cold. And even if there's some cold seeping through, you're inside your vehicle with dry clothes on and a jacket. At the very least, you were suffering some discomfort. You're not suffering severe hypothermia, bruh. That was out of pocket. Like, how do you even lie about that? But let's look at the carbon monoxide, because I feel like the carbon monoxide tells us a story that's even more diabolical. This is where they were parked at when they got to the Hollywood Casino Greektown parking garage. This exact spot, 9C, this is where they were at. Now, if you look at this, then you understand that the kids dying from carbon monoxide in this parking garage that's up to date, that has a great ventilation system, it's almost impossible, and it doesn't make sense whatsoever. You're not catching carbon monoxide in this spot. Not happening. The ventilation system of an up-to-date underground parking. You also have opening where cars are coming in and out. You aren't dying. This is not an enclosed space. This is wide open. You're not dying from carbon monoxide poisoning parking here, which means these kids had to have been dead before they got to this parking garage. Wide open parking garage, multiple floors. They were on the 9th floor. There's openings everywhere. There's a ventilation system. You're not dying from carbon monoxide in that parking garage. Those kids were already dead before they got to that parking garage. And if we're going to entertain the carbon monoxide story, then we have to ask ourselves, how come only the 2 children passed away? There was 5 adults and 2 kids in that van. Only the 2 children died? Everybody else survived? That's not how carbon monoxide works, bruh. If it's carbon monoxide poisoning from being in that parking garage, everybody in that car is gonna die. It don't pick and choose. Oh, but wait, no. They said they ran out of gas as soon as they got to the parking garage, which is why their kids died from hypothermia. So from their story, they ran out of gas when they got to the parking garage. And the kids being in the cold for 10 plus hours, that's how they died from hypothermia. So if they ran out of gas when they got to the parking garage, then how do you die from carbon monoxide? If you don't have gas and the car was not on, then you can't die from carbon monoxide. This is where her telling lies begin to interfere with the truth. And when they interviewed them and they asked them about the running out of gas story, other adults who were in the car was very clear. They're trying to now distance themselves away from the story that Tateona told. They don't want to be alibis. So when they're asked, they know nothing about it.
I had one mistake.
And the kid's grandmother, 49-year-old Yvette Goodman, was also in the van that day. Did the van run out of gas?
I have no idea what happened. I have no idea.
Did you fall asleep?
Yes.
And then when you woke...
Only night I fell asleep. I usually be woke.
And when you woke up, what happened?
My grandson wasn't moving.
It sounds like people more concerned with saving their butts. She said, oh, I don't know. I was asleep. According to the police, Tateona called the police or called for help, and they found their 9-year-old son not breathing at around 1 p.m. So you was asleep until 1 p.m.? I thought y'all ran out of gas. If y'all ran out of gas, then how did he die of carbon monoxide? It doesn't make sense whatsoever. You will sleep until 1 p.m., huh? You never fall asleep, but the night the 2 kids died, you all of a sudden went out like you hibernated until 1 p.m. The one night the 2 kids passed away, that's the night coincidentally you was asleep and you slept through everything. The only way those kids died and you live is if you weren't in the same car as them as they died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Because where were you guys? If you were in the same vehicle, you'll be dead. So that's out the window. My theory is they left those kids somewhere. They left those kids somewhere in an enclosed space as they went ahead to do something or handle their business. And when they got back to the van where they left the kids at, the kids were already dead. They were already dead in that enclosed space. So they drove them to the Hollywood Casino, where, they spend a couple of hours there trying to get their story straight, but it doesn't make sense, yo. Right? You ran out of gas. How would they die from carbon monoxide poisoning? Doesn't make sense. You're at the Hollywood Casino parking for 12 hours. You call for help at about 1 p.m. and you got there at 1 a.m. Doesn't make sense at all. And if those kids did die before the gas ran out, that means you sat with a dead body for hours and didn't realize your kids weren't moving or breathing. Something is up. And the police think so too. Because after the autopsy came back for carbon monoxide poisoning, the chief of police gave a statement. And here is his statement. The chief says DBD received a medical examiner's report which determined that the cause of death was carbon monoxide poisoning and that the manner of death was accidental. We will continue investigating the facts and circumstances of the case and submit our findings to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. It looks like the case is not closed. Even though the autopsy is saying it's accidental, it could be accidental. They could have left their kids somewhere in a really tight space, left the car on to go do what they were going to do. They came back, the kids died, and they drove them to the parking garage. But you're not going to be in the same vehicle as those kids and they die from carbon monoxide poisoning, a 9-year-old that is, and you left perfectly fine. Cut it out, man. So it looks like the case is not closed. They're still investigating. And I do believe by the time this case gets closed, bruh, she'll be in a prison cell, from my perspective. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? All right? Do you guys feel like there's foul play going on? Do you guys feel like there's inconsistency? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen to find out how this rapper's rap career is over after he murdered his op's 5-year-old daughter, or he's responsible for their murder. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.